Yes, here we are. Very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Look North. The headlines from us this Tuesday night. A court defeat for the campaigners who blocked access to an oil and gas exploration site.
I think all of us are bitterly disappointed. This is very bad news for the residents of the East Riding.
I'm live at the protest camp where campaigners say they're defiant despite today's High Court ruling.
Also tonight, legal action is taken to remove travellers from a park in East Yorkshire. The Lincolnshire shooter who's won a silver medal at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. And a ballet dancer from Hull returns to the London stage after joining a top Russian dance company.
And your detailed 5-day forecast follows in 15 minutes.
Good evening. What began as a protest on a country lane in East Yorkshire has ended in defeat at the High Court in London today. Environmental campaigners who have been blocking the entrance to an oil and gas exploration site near Walkington have been told to remove this tower. The legal action was taken by the firm Rathlin and the farmer who owns the land. But tonight, protesters have told BBC Look North that they're not going anywhere. We'll hear from them in a moment, but first this report from Kate Sweeting at the High Court.
A disappointing day at court for these environmental campaigners. Today, a judge ruled part of the protest camp at Crawberry Hill near Walkington trespasses on private property and must be removed.
I think all of us are bitterly disappointed. This shows the difficulty of a small number of people without financial means taking on big corporations and big corporate interests.
The protesters claim the operators of this oil and gas exploration site near Walkington want to frack here. That's the controversial method of extracting shale gas. And despite repeated assurances from the operator Rathlin Energy that they're not fracking and don't intend to do so, the protesters are not backing down.
We're not beaten because the protesters are still there, and the attendance at meetings in the East Riding increases all the time. I believe the majority of East Riding residents want nothing to do with oil and gas extraction in the East Riding.
It's this tower erected at the site entrance that will have to come down. Many of the tents are on a council-owned verge and can stay. The camp at Crawberry Hill was set up in early May alongside a sister protest site at West Newton to the east of Hull. At the beginning of July, more than 150 people took part in an anti-fracking protest march through the streets of Beverley. Then, just last week, Rathlin Energy said it was to apply for an extension of its licence on the Crawberry Hill site. Today, the chairman of Rathlin Energy was in court to hear the verdict but declined to be interviewed. In a statement, the company said there will be nothing to prevent protesters from protesting legally if they can find somewhere from where they can do it legally, not on public roads and not on our and the farmers' land. Bailiffs will now be instructed to carry out the judge's ruling and make sure the offending parts of the camp are removed. But despite losing at court today, the campaigners I spoke to told me their protest is far from over. Kate Sweeting, BBC Look North at the High Court in London.
Well, that's Kate Sweeting, but our reporter Jill Archbold is at the site, the Rathlin site in East Yorkshire at the moment. What's been the reaction there of the campaigners to today's court judgment?
Well, Peter, I'm standing at what has become the camp's welcome tent, one of many pitched on this grass verge, which is in fact council-owned land. So today's decision doesn't affect their ability to stay here. However, if I turn and show you the camp's tower, this structure, which has been built in size over the last 3 months that protesters have been here, is the structure that a judge has today ruled must come down. And I've been speaking to people here to get their reaction to the news.
I didn't realise what was going on here until I got the leaflet they put through the door saying that there was a camp here. You know, they're courageous people who are willing to go to great lengths to stop this industry, and I think what they need the support that locals can give them.
It was a surprise, yeah, because you know, there was a lot of, for us there was a lot. You know, the main issue was the farmer getting down this road there, as you can see, and as you can see, there's wide enough gap that we've had There was footage that we took down videos of lorries coming in and out of there with crops and stuff, you know, big trailers on them, and still pitches. So there was no obstruction. There's no obstruction to his life, and there's no obstruction to his, you know, his lawful business.
We have won this. We have won this. We have won. We are beyond the tipping point in public opinion, and it's not going to happen.
And some of the protesters that I have been speaking to here at the camp today have admitted surprise at this decision at the High Court, mainly because this farm track behind me means that the landowner, in their opinion, has still had access to his land. But if we turn back and look again once more at this structure, it's unclear what it's being used for exactly, but it has become a blockade to try and prevent Rathlin Energy accessing the site. It's also built into a symbol of defiance and stands for what these people are here trying to achieve. That symbol now has to come down, but what's clear is that the feeling amongst the people remains strong regardless of a tower.
Jill, thank you very much indeed. Jill Archbold there in Walkington. Of course, we will continue to follow that story as we have done right from the start. Thank you for watching. In a moment on the programme,